Howdy y'all, it's AR Cavally. Welcome back to my channel. And now we're finally going to get some get some action going on here. We have these creatures, these zombies, which are actually pretty tough. Well, compared to a bunch of first level people. But I think instead of I was thinking about it, and I mentioned the mushrooms all over the place, that instead of like being magically raised zombies, these are like spore controlled zombies. So they've got fungus and mushrooms, kind of like, I guess, The Last of Us. I've never played it, but I've seen pictures of the spore and the mind control thing. So I think that's what these are. These have been given the Juffo Wup. And if you catch that reference, you and I can be very good buddies. But instead of being like your typical zombies, they have patches of fungus growing out of their head, and as they shuffle along. All right. So I've got these guys here, and I've got all the NPCs lined up here, and I know you can't really see too much of them, but they're mostly set up by weapon types. I had enough different NPC weapons. Let's take a look at our encounter range. All right, so that's going to be a D6. 5. So it's going to be distant. If we look at that, we're talking, like 240 feet. So, yeah. All right, so we got 240 feet. If something's running, excuse me, a normal person's running far, they can run 60 feet in a turn for their movement. So that's like, what, 4 turns? Yeah. So that's 4 turns for a normal person. But they, I just don't think that they're going to get up that far away. I don't, just because they're kind of sitting there and they're waiting for something to come along. I think I'm going to override that roll and say that the combat's going to start a little closer, because as I imagine them, they're not just shuffling around like zombies looking for for brains or whatever. They're actually like lying on the ground inert with, they look like patches. They look like part of the mushroom patch. So I'm going to make them be a little closer than that when they start rising up. But they do move slow. So let's see. No, well, that was rude. I'm going to give the scale so that each square is 10 feet instead, just to keep the movement a little, and a person can cover 10 feet about as fast as they can cover 5 feet. So all right, so they come up, and they are as they start to crawl up, they're just all these people are all just kind of meandering about, and then these things start to crawl up, spores squirting out. If they would have like some kind of spore attack, not necessarily an attack, but something that people would have to maybe make a constitution save to keep from getting infected. Maybe, I don't know, I'll think about that one. And they stop. And they, get in formation. Our Zahn. I also made all the folks, all the NPCs. Like I said, Zahn is kind of the leader of them, or at least he's a second level guy. He and Reese, who's our archer swordsman type. So the archers, they kind of fall back so they can shoot. And the swordsmen line up. However, as they're getting ready, she actually has a crossbow, but I don't have a female I don't have a crossbow woman. But because these are so freakish, someone's going to have to start making leadership roles to get things going. Now they're so far away that it's not like they're going to get here soon. But to overcome the fear of these creeping, obviously, well, they look undead. They don't know that they're not undead, but they look like zombies. Now, let's see, Reese and well, Bass might be. He's the spearman. He actually has charisma, and he's also second level. Because when you make them, you like I said, generated and then modified the morale values based on the table for that. But I think it should probably be a PC that's doing that. Let's see. Now Lucas, he was a trader, so in those kind of things, I give him advantage. But this is military leadership, so I don't think he would get advantage for that. So I think I'm going to have her, even though she might come off as kind of mousy. She's got the charisma bonus, so she's going to try to stand your ground. They're just beasts. Archers ready. Let's see. But those people, they're not really enjoying that too much. So let's see. What does she do? 8, 9. Nope. Okay, so they're like, what? What are those things? Eh. And these are shuffling forward while she's trying to get her folks up. They shuffle, so they move like half. So a normal person does like 30, so that'd be three spaces here. 6 if they spend all their actions to run. So these guys do like 15, so I'll have them move 1 and then 2, then 1 then 2 probably. Fire! What are those things? She's just not having it. All right. Well, I think old Bass. I think that at this point they're close enough that they finally are going to get going. So now, even though she wasn't successful in those, I think 3 turns of them fussing around, they're not going to sit there and scream as these things slowly shuffle towards them. Because really, they could just run away. But there's no way around. Okay, so they do get initiative though. So now that the combat has started, we'll go. Okay, so they're not their armor class. These critters, their armor class is not super high. It's only 11 because they are rotting, shuffling. Any armor they once had has been eaten away as they rot away and here as mushroom food. But let's see. Oh, you know what? She has a sling, so I think she'll get off her horse and she'll make ready to start slinging stones because she doesn't want any part of mushroom zombies. All right. So 11 as she flings a stone. Okay, she's not the greatest with that, even though that's her best stat. But, all right. The table got a little crowded all of a sudden. All right, crossbowman. Okay, so he hits Let's see. I'll just go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So that's 3. He's gonna hit the. He's gonna hit that guy. 2. Kind of wondering if these things. Nah, I'll just leave it. All right, he didn't do too much. Let's see if our lady crossbowman. Oh, good shot. Oh, she does 7. 1, 2, 3. Let's see. She'll hit 4. Ooh, okay. So she sends a bolt downrange, and she hits this guy in the head, ripping a huge mushroom off of his skull, leaving a trail of ichor and slime. Smells like mushroom soup. Rotten mushroom soup. Not good mushroom soup, but rotten mushroom soup. And Reese, he's our longbowman. Oh, okay, so he's good. He's going to shoot at this guy, so that's number 6. All right. So I think now that they've been attacked, and since they're not, even though they're shuffling, and since they're not like completely mindless zombies, I think maybe they're gonna run. So they can go 3. Uh-oh. As their mushroom survival instincts kick in. Okay. So that guy, he actually rushed, but oh yeah, that's if you run, that takes all your actions if you race like that. All right. Let's see. So our 2 crossbow people, they'll be reloading. And then I think my guy will get up front. He'll move up front into the shield wall with his spear ready. The longbowman. Actually, should have done that last round, I guess. But, oh well. All right, the longbowman. Oh, uh-oh. All right. Longbowman's string snaps. But the wang! Okay, so he no longer has a longbow. It's not too easy to fix, or it's not too hard to fix. He's probably got at least 2 spare strings, since he's a competent longbowman. But he doesn't have time to go rummaging around with this thing right next to it. All right. All right, those 2 attack with the longsword. Okay, I think he's level 2 and okay, so that's a hit. That's 3. Yeah. Okay, so this is definitely going to kill this dude. Yeah. Reh! Chop! He chops mushroom right off. Let's see. So they can go 3. Oops. Okay, so I think our spearman and our halberd man. 1, 2. They're both going to go after that guy. That's number 2. Spearman. Let's see. That might actually hit. Our spearman is level 2. So he gets +2. Yep, so that hits. Because he's using a 2-handed weapon, even though it's medium. He gets to roll with advantage. That didn't help too much. And then the guy with the halberd. Okay, so that's going to hit, and I'm going to say that's going to... Yeah, okay. Heck, he brings the halberd down on top of that zombie's mushroom head, and it explodes. Poof! Let's see, I didn't generate it as like a power, but following the story, I don't know. I'm going to say it's unlikely, but I have an idea that when these things are killed, they kind of spray out spores, which is not going to be overly helpful for, you know, my team of heroes, but it just seems to follow. I'm gonna say it's unlikely, but so 5 or 6 on the red die. No, so all right. So it is more of a slow corruption and decay. So they kill their victims, and then the mushrooms slowly eat them away and control their bodies. All right, so she's going to go ahead and try to sling at that guy over there. Okay, so that's a hit. 3. All right. Let's see, and I moved there to kind of protect the archer, so this our swordswoman, they really should all be staying in formation, but 1, 2, 3. All right, so she's gonna attack him. That is let's see, Rowena. Oh, all right, so that's a miss. And I think, yeah, those two are reloading crossbows, and this guy back here is helpless. So, all right, now it's zombies. Let's see. 1, 2, 3. This guy's going to attack Bass. Ah, all right, so he falls over, he stumbles. Blah. He's probably got a big mushroom in front of his face or something. All right. Let's see. I think. Let's see. Will they split their attacks, or will they all go after Rowena? Let's see. I'll say they'll split their attacks. So that guy's going to go after our halberd person, which is Seraph. 9, 10, 11 versus Seraph. Nope. And then Rowena. She has a 13 armor class. These guys have +2. Okay, so she gets hit for 6. Or D6. Oh, no. Oh, Rowena, she's only got 4. Blah. All right, she's an NPC hireling, so I'm not going to do death saves or anything like that. So she attacks, she bravely rushes in, she swings and misses, and these things are, you know, they still have, like I said, these rusted weapons, and as she closes, he stumbles forward and jabs through the side of her throat with a rusty moldering short sword, and she tries to scream. Her scream is cut off as her throat is slashed and her blood pours down her armor into the mucky swampland below, and she slowly sinks to the feet, or at the feet of the Mycon Zomboid. Poor Rowena. That might have been her first battle. Well. All right. Next turn. All right. I've got this fan going on over here. It keeps blowing my, my sheet. He's going to go forward and attack. Now, what does he get? He gets a +2. 15. D8 +1 for damage. 6. And that is number 6. Is that right? I think so. Yeah. Oh, yeah, okay. So he he runs up, his shield at the ready, and he jabs his spear into the side of this creature as it looks like it's maybe gonna want to try to, I don't know, put mushrooms on Rowena, but he pulls his spear out, and a slime comes, thick ichor slime comes oozing out of the massive gaping hole in its side. Okay, let's see. Yeah, she's not going to try to do a slaying into melee, so she's going to switch to her rapier, and really she's just going to kind of hang back. She doesn't want to fight one of these guys. And the crossbow people, they've got their crossbows ready, but everyone's in melee, and they don't really want to shoot into melee because, well, they're not dumb, but they're not that great. So, all right, our barbarian mercenary's on 18, and he's going to get himself 2d10 with advantage. Only a 2. That's only a 3, and then I'll give him a +1. Oh no, I gave him +2, so that's 5. All right, so he takes a chunk of fungus off of the beast, and he staggers, but he still is up, and our spearman boss is going to make his attack. 19. All right. So he's going to get his 2d8 with advantage. 6. And that is enough. After the sword blow comes and staggers the beast, and he stumbles forward, and boss is able to jab his spear into the fungus-ridden face of this long dead poor soul. All right, and now it's going to be this halberd guy. And who is that? That is Seraph. He's going to try to bring his huge halberd down on this guy. Nope, not this time. 2, 3. All right, Reese is going to come forward and try to help, but he won't be there this turn. All right, so now this creature is going to attack our halberdman, Seraph. Blech. Swinging a waterlogged, but still effective, rusted mace. It's a +2 to attack. 11, 12, 13. Nope, Seraph has a 14, so just barely. I think Seraph had chain. Does he have a helmet? Seraph have a helmet? Yeah. So the rusted, dripping mace rings off of his helmet, but Seraph is safe from the attack. All right. So hopefully we might be able to get through this battle with only one NPC casualty. All right, 1, 2, 3. And I'm going to let the halberd guy, since he's already toe-to-toe with that guy. 18, so that's a good hit. 8. Let's see. Yep. All right, so 8 + 1. Just enough. That guy had 9 hit points. He backs up, recovers from the blow that rang his helmet, and he brings his halberd high and gets in past his guard and brings it down straight on top of his mushroom-soaked skull, and it splits through his skull and down into his chest, and these strange, stringy slime that is apparently what the insides of these mushrooms look like when they burrow and dig into the flesh of their victims, comes spilling out. And then finally, the last one dies. Oh, poor Seraph. What do? Well, they don't want her to be, they don't want her to uh, slowly be taken over by these strange mushroom things. So they gather her body. Someone, Zan, uh, carries her body as they move on to the next part of their the next part of their journeys. Let's see. I kind of took a break, so I forgot how long that was. Yeah, so they're going to be at the end of the swamp in a place that's not full of these mushrooms, hopefully. And they bury her. Let's see. What does she have? She has a sword, and she does have armor. Let's see. Does the armor fit anyone? I'm going to say it's unlikely. Yeah, so they just bury. I mean, it's not like she had great armor. She had leather armor, so they leave her there. But they're going to give. Let's see, who needs a shield? Let's see. Well, she was the only one that really ever really used it. He doesn't want a shield. He likes his spear. I guess Bass will take a spear or no, he's not going to. They'll bury. They'll. What do they do? Shall they keep it as a spare? I don't know. No, they'll give it to Tristan. Oh, Tristan has one already. That doesn't make sense. Well, I'm sure I rolled it anyway. All right, they bury her with her spear or with her sword and her shield as a proper shield maiden. Let's see. I don't think did anyone get hit besides her? No, I don't guess so. They were those zombies were kind of far away, and there weren't that many of them, even though they were 2 hit dies. But by the time that they got up there, they'd been cut through pretty well. So, but I mean, they killed one party member, so they at least were a threat to that extent. All right, so they continue on through the swamp and they set up camp and they lay down to rest. They set up watches. It's nice to have a bunch of people so you can have multiple folks on watch while the others are sleeping. So the survivors huddle together in a camp. They make the fire. They start, they pass out the rations and they get some sleep. Or they try to get some sleep. Yeah. So nothing happens in the night, and we will call it there because we're right at 30 minutes. So at least we got some action in. Happy gaming.